What's up guys, today I bring you what every gel ball, milsimmer and LARPer has been waiting for. That of course is a GBBR or gas blowback rifle. This model here is made by Golden Eagle and it's a replica of the Daniel Defense Mark 18 Mod 1. It was kindly sent to me by the Australian based retailer called iHobby, and if you're interested in picking one of these up, please use the links down below as they help support my channel. Now, some of you might be asking, what exactly is all the hype surrounding GBBRs? Why would you even want one of these? It only holds 30 shots after all, and most AEG gel blasters hold over 200 per mag. Well, it's the hyper-realism, of course. Especially here in Australia, where your average citizen has no chance of ever owning a real Armalite, this is the closest thing that you can get. Insert the mag, pull back the charging handle, and fire your 30 shots either on semi-auto or full auto, all while gas is adding to the realism. Plus, it even has a little bit of recoil compared to a standard AEG, feeling comparable to a 22 long rifle.
HK have got a 22 in this, and that's what it's like.
And when you fired the last shot, internally the bolt will lock back. So just swap in a fresh mag, hit the bolt release, and continue firing. Just like the real thing. The realism doesn't stop externally though. If you push out one of the pins, which has a nice retention lug to stop it falling out, taking a look at the inside of the receiver, you can see this thing bears a strikingly close resemblance to the real thing in how it operates. For this video though, let's close it back up and I'll give you a tour of the outside of the blaster from tip to butt, and then I'll do some testing. If you did want to see the entire internals of this blaster and a full assembly guide, I'll link that down below too. Every single part on this blaster is made of metal, aside from obviously the grip and the buttstock. This gives the blaster a nice solid weight to it that I measured at 2.6 kilograms with the mag inserted. That's the same weight as the real thing unloaded. Out of the box, it comes with an orange muzzle cap attached, which simply pulls off to reveal the flash hider underneath. The flash hider itself threads on with a standard 14mm counterclockwise thread, so you could very easily swap that out for a suppressor or whatever you want to change up the look of the blaster. Integrated inside the barrel is an adjustable hop-up. Kinda hard to see on camera because it's so small and it's back inside the muzzle, but it's very simple to adjust with a grub screw on top of the barrel behind the flash hider. I found that it was perfectly dialed in out of the box though, and it didn't actually need any adjusting. Moving back from the muzzle, on this particular model it has a Picatinny quad rail, but you can also get M4 variants, M16s, and even M-LOK variants of these Golden Eagle gas blowback rifles. Personally, I like Picatinny the most as it allows me to add things like my GoPros and flashlights very easily. Mounted on top of the rails, it comes with adjustable flip-up metal iron sights attached out of the box. I also added a red dot sight to mine, which just helps with aiming for accuracy testing and stuff like that. I also find it a lot quicker and easier to aim in gameplay, but that's personal preference. Behind the rear sight is the charging handle. For your first mag, you do need to actually use this, just like the real thing, and for subsequent mags, you only need to hit the bolt release located on the left side of the blaster. Pulling the charging handle will also open up the dust cover, and when firing the blaster, this is where a lot of gas flies out, adding to the realism.
That is so inefficient on gas.
Yeah, but it will give the milsimmers erections though.
On the side of the mag well, it has the Daniel Defense engraved logo and text matching the real thing. The magazine itself is part metal, part plastic, and it has one of the easier methods of loading compared to other gas blowback rifle mags. At the bottom of the mag, there's a braided cord you simply pull down and it will bring the follower down with it. And while that's past this loading hole in the side, you can just load in gels with a speed loader. In total, it holds around 30 gel balls depending on the size that you grow them to. I can see people not being a fan of the fact that there's a cord hanging out the bottom of the magazine detracting from the realism. I've already seen even one user cut the braided cable off entirely and use a rod to push the follower down from the top when loading. A more elegant solution that keeps the ease of loading would be to use some form of hollowed out plastic base plate to cover that, but it will still need to allow the movement of the cord as the gels feed.
You dog.
To fill up the mag with green gas, the stuff that actually powers the blaster, making sure to hold the mag so your can of green gas is upside down. Just push the nozzle of the can into the valve and hold it there for about 5 seconds and you're done. A fill of gas will last you just over 2 mags worth of gels before having to top it up again. Personally, I just top it up every single time you reload it with gels. It's not very hard to do. With the magazine inserted, the mag releases on the right hand side of the blaster, and with the weight of a gas-filled mag, you'd expect it to easily gravity drop out, but I found that I had to give it a pull to free it. Perhaps over time it'll wear down easy enough to drop free, but out of the box it doesn't seem to. This blaster has an ambidextrous fire select, so one on each side. That's very handy for your operators who switch hands entirely when cornering. Usually I just switch shoulders but not hands, and obviously it's also handy for left-handers out there. This blaster has a functional safety that prevents you from accidentally firing the blaster. What I found a little odd after using AEGs is that the bolt needs to be closed and hammer cocked in order for you to actually put it into safe. But that's actually the same on a real AR, so props to Golden Eagle for replicating that. It does make sense though, why would you need to put it on safe if you have a dead trigger? From safe, it of course has semi-auto and then the fun switch full auto. I probably wouldn't use it on full auto due to the low 30-shot ammo capacity, and with the fast trigger response of a gas-powered blaster with absolutely no slack before pulling the trigger, semi is all you really need. At the back of the blaster it has a standard buffer tube, so if you don't like the stock that it comes with, you could easily swap that out for a different one. And overall, with this blaster being part of the first wave of GBBRs to reach Australia, I'm very impressed with the realism of it. Well, aside from that cord hanging out of the bottom of the mag, but how well does this blaster shoot? The gel balls I'm using today were kindly provided to me by the Battle for Waterloo Skirmish Field Shop. If you live in South Australia, come out for a game and have a look at their stock while you're here. They have everything you need for a fun day of gel ball, gas, gels, CO2, and they even do HPA refills. Support your local fields because without them you have no legal reason to even own a gel blaster. First, let's get a velocity reading over the chronograph with 12 kg green gas. Then I'll refill the mag with 14 kg green gas and see if that improves it.
267, 270, 283, 273, 278, 270, 272, 212, but I think it hit the side of the chrono inside. 266, 275, 272.
With 12 kg green gas, I got a high of 283, low of 266, and an average of 272. That's a little lower than I was expecting given the barrel length, but you should be able to use it with 12 kg green gas within the rules of pretty much any Gel Blaster event. So now let's see what the rate of fire is on full auto. So we got 534 rounds per minute or 8.9 rounds per second. It's a little slow for a Gel Blaster and actually slower than the real thing. But I think most people will use it on semi-auto, so it's not a deal breaker to me, especially when you only have 30 shots. So now let's chrono it on 14 kg green gas and see if it gains some velocity with the extra power.
291, 305, 301, 300, 304, 284, 301, 274, 302, 303.
On 14 kg green gas, I got a high of 305, a low of 274, and an average of 296. I didn't record a rate of fire test on the 14 kg gas, but I think it would increase just like the velocity increased here. A high of 305 is also still usable at most Gel Blaster games.
Now, you shot this thing before on the 12. Let me know if the kick's gone up on 14.
I would just say that the bolt recoils a little bit faster. I wouldn't say that the kick's gone up, but the bolt, you can feel the bolt recoiling a little bit faster.
I mean, there's not a huge difference between 14 and 12 anyway.
No.
FPS has gone up a little bit, so that's cool.
It has, and it's still functioning nice, so... But yeah, I like it.
Finally, let's test the accuracy.
Okay, so here's 30 meters to the target. Gonna need a couple of practice shots to know where to aim, but here we are on semi-auto. Well, that's high. Hit. 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 Low, but in line with the target. High and left. Hit. I think that was a hit. Hit. Low and to the left. High, but in line with the center of the target. Hit. High, just missed the white sign above the target. Low by about half a meter. Hit. Hit. High and to the right. Hit. 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 High and to the right by about a meter. Slightly high and to the right. Slightly low and to the left. Hit. I'm going to call it there.
At a distance of 30 meters, out of 25 shots total, 14 of them hit within the 1 meter target. So that's just over a 50% hit rate. 6 shots went high, 5 shots went low, but overall it's on par with pretty much any other gel blaster out there. Overall, I had a lot of fun using the Golden Eagle Mark 18 Mod 1 GBBR. I used it for the entire day with no issues. Something else worth mentioning is that I've seen some reports online of parts breaking on these Golden Eagles. One guy broke the charging handle off of his, another broke their buffer tube after using it as an accidental melee weapon, and I even read a comment about the bolt wearing down pretty quickly. The stock blaster does use cheap pot metal parts, but that does mean though that if something breaks, it's very inexpensive to replace. If you do want to, you can buy CNC parts for this, but expect to pay $80 for example for a bolt carrier, rather than $18. Personally, I made sure to give all the moving parts a good coat of silicone oil before I arrived at the gel ball field. Absolutely nothing has gone wrong with mine yet. Every single trigger pull, a gel left the barrel, and since it was the first one to hit the field in South Australia, I even gave some other players a go at shooting it.
Fire when ready. What do you think?
It's definitely pretty good. Yeah, no, recoil is slightly more than what a 22 does. That's great.
It is like, so HK have got a 22 in this, and that's what it's like. We've got, you know, when we were at the range that day.
Oh, it actually feels like a 5.56, dude. It's killer.
Still got some shots in it too.
Just a little bit under.
I like the rear 3/4 view.
Riley? I think it might have one or two left in it.
Yeah,
Sunset.
it feels like a content. You can see the gas actually coming out.
It's pretty cool.
If you're a milsim player or even an everyday skirmisher, this thing is absolutely sick. And if you can get over the 30 round capacity compared to 200 shots in every other gel ball blaster you'll be playing against, then getting a gas blowback gel ball rifle like this isn't even a choice you need to make. Just go and get one. The recoil feeling similar to a 22 long rifle, and the realistic operation with the bolt even having locking lugs on the end of it, along with all that gas spewing out of the ejection port and muzzle when you fire, it's just a huge step up in realism over an AEG. If you do want to pick up one of these GBBRs though, please use the links down below because it helps support my channel. Also, if you aren't already subscribed, consider hitting that button on the way out. Here's 2 other videos you might enjoy, and as always, thank you very much for watching. See ya!